New federal bill could require disclosure of songs used in AI training. Because you and I know that they're pulling from songs that exist. There is no AI sitting in there and saying,
soulful beat, soulful sounds. This is what I think it might sound like.
They about to put the hammer down on so many of these companies.
DIY.
DIYers, everybody's been having such a hell of a time with their AI flip songs. People are now, it's crazy. After this whole Kendrick versus Drake thing concluded, people were asking, hey, Curtis, if you see any Motown versions of Euphoria, could you let me know? And it had me thinking, it's crazy how quickly people have adjusted and accepted AI in general. I remember putting up this message, though, in April 24th, 2024, where I said, I was answering a question that somebody had. And this is from Kid Raja. He said, hey, Curtis, is sampling AI songs, like with the Udio and all these websites, copyright infringement? Because technically under the law, they don't exist. I told him this very general warning, and I still follow this. I said, every website, every AI music generating website where you put a prompt in, they word their own terms and conditions slightly different. And you should always check it out. Check out the details on these websites. Personally, I think it would be best to wait until some of these laws catch up to what's happening with AI. These companies, these fucking tech companies, need to be more transparent about their source training. Because I kid you not, I listen to some of these Motown versions of songs and EDMs, and I'm like, fam, I kind of feel like I could pull some references of where it was pulling this idea from. I could swear to you that's Isley Brothers influence. I could swear to you that that's Al Green, but I it could be tripping. I feel like these companies have they've been allowed to run freely and chaotically without the laws slowing them down. And that's been something that's always irked the shit out of me. Maybe because it's done with music, but the laws have not caught up to this. And I don't know how this gets unleashed to the public. Well, asking you shall receive, man. Shout out to my guy, Chris AK. He sent this and put this on my radar. Here on Billboard, the headline reads, new federal bill could require disclosure of songs used in AI training. Representative Adam Schiff introduced the Generative AI Copyright Disclosure Act. If passed, it would require AI companies to disclose all copyrighted works used in training. Adam Schiff introduced new legislation in the U.S. House of Representatives on Tuesday, which, if passed, would require AI companies to disclose which copyrighted works were used to train their models or face a financial penalty. Because you and I know that they're pulling from songs that exist. There is no AI sitting in there and saying,
soulful beat, soulful sounds. This is what I think it might sound like.
Baby L Drizzy, baby L Drizzy. And it's the same issues that graphic designers have expressed with these Midjourney websites, with these ideograms. They're sourcing it from real pieces of work, but because they're taking multiple sources, they're able to kind of like dodge some of these laws that haven't caught up. The bill requires that a full list of copyrighted works in an AI model's training data be filed with the Copyright Office no later than 30 days before the model becomes available to consumers. This would also be required when the training data set for an existing model is altered in a significant manner. Financial penalties for non-compliance would be determined on a case-by-case basis by the Copyright Office, based on factors like company's history of non-compliance and the company's size. Generative AI models, they're trained on up to trillions of existing works. In some cases, data sets which can include anything from film scripts to news articles to music, are licensed from copyright owners, but often these models will scrape the internet for large swaths of content, some of which is copyrighted, without the consent or knowledge of the author. Yeah, because who's going to do anything about it?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Who's going to do anything about it? If the laws haven't caught up, who's going to slap them on the wrist? What do they got to be afraid of? They can tell us that it's trillions of different works that they're sourcing. They could literally be 3. What are you going to do about it? It could be 1. What are you going to do about it? Many of the world's largest AI companies have publicly defended this practice, calling it fair use. Sheesh. Many of those working in creative industries take the position that this is a form of widespread copyright infringement. Ooh, these companies better hope it ain't, because if not, they about to put the hammer down on so many of these companies. The debate has sparked a number of lawsuits between copyright owners and AI companies. In October, UMG, ABK-CO, Concord Music Group, and other music publishers filed a lawsuit against AI giant Anthropic for unlawfully exploiting their copyrighted song lyrics to train AI models. In the process of building and operating AI models, Anthropic unlawfully copies and disseminates vast amounts of copyrighted works, wrote lawyers for the music companies at the time. Publishers embrace innovation and recognize the great promise of AI, but when used ethically and responsibly. But Anthropic violates these principles on a systematic and widespread basis. I assure you they're not the only ones. While many in the music business are calling for compensation and the ability to opt in or out, that's another thing. I don't know how many of y'all were given the option to opt in or opt out of these websites, but they kind of just took it upon themselves to take whatever's at their disposal in the name of fair use. It's fucked up. This bill focuses only on requiring transparency with copyrighted training data. Still, it has garnered support from many industry groups, including the Recording Industry Association of America, National Music Publishers Association, ASCAP, Black Music Action Coalition, and Human Artistry Campaign. I think that a lot of these websites, these AI generating music websites, are banking on their assumption that many artists like yourself are not copywriting your music. And if there's ever been a time where that's been more important, I mean, not the poor man's copyright, I mean the actual copyright.gov process, it is now. Because what is it going to take? What is stopping these companies from combing through the very platforms that have told you quantity is more important than quality? What is it going to take for them to comb through these, see artists that don't have anything that is copyrighted, and just pull all of that in the name of fair use? Nothing's going to stop them because they're already doing it. AI has a disruptive potential of changing our economy, our political system, and our day-to-day lives, says Representative Schiff in a statement. We must balance the immense potential of AI with the crucial need for ethical guidelines and protections. My Generative AI Copyright Disclosure Act is a pivotal step in the direction. It champions innovation while safeguarding the rights and contributions of creators, ensuring they are aware when their work contributes to AI training data sets. This is about respecting creativity in the age of AI and marrying technological progress with fairness. All of which sounds awesome. I love the idea of there being more transparency. Whether these companies feel the heat to follow through, we shall see. I will keep up to date as this bill is proposed and hopefully passed. I don't see why it wouldn't be, because it puts a lot of the ways that musicians, independent businesses are generating income in the U.S. Music producers, rappers, and singers, are you looking to get some constructive feedback on your newest music? Joining Critique My Beats is super easy. All you got to do is reserve a pass to critiquemybeats.com. Click on book a slot and choose if you want to get 1 beat review, 2 beat reviews on our live stream every Monday. Best beat and best song of the night is going to win a cash prize. Join us at critiquemybeats.com. So, we shall see. Just to show you how creepy some of this shit is getting, I bring your attention to an artist here. He goes by King Green. He said this is the end of music world as we know it. Watch this video real quick.
AI music is out of control. We made a song in 2013, went viral, got signed to a major label. This is the song. I took this song, put it through some AI prompts, and all you gotta do is tell it what you want. Do you want an EDM dance hit?
Well, baby, I don't ever want to see you again.
You thinking, of course, AI can make some.
So if you're not following, he basically took a song that was already popular in his catalog and his band, and he ran it through this AI website, and he asked it to generate different versions of that song.
Techno stuff. I like real music, like metal.
She said, I don't want to be your friend. Well, baby, I don't ever want to see you again. Hey! Hey!
That label still owns the master of that song. So this label at any time can be like, yo, we own this song. It's not making money right now. How can we make this song make some money? What's hot right now? Oh, Afrobeat.
She said, I don't want to be your friend. Well, baby, baby, I don't ever wanna.
Can you see how that could be problematic? Especially if you decide to go sign a deal and they own the master. There's no law in place for you to own your ability to opt out of these trainings that are occurring. I look at that and I'm like, if I'm a label, this is a dream come true. If I sign you and say you die, right? Say you just gone from here. I can now take your catalog, and instead of worrying about how to generate new music, I can take the music that has already been successful and generate 5 to 20 versions of the same song in many different genres that are hot in the moment. I can do a New Jersey club remix. I can do an EDM flip. I can do a lo-fi version of it. And what are you going to do about it? Does it start to make sense why there's been such a concerted effort to get artists like ourselves independently to put out a shit ton of music? It's starting to look now like that was done purposely to train our replacements.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Sheesh.
See you again. Hey.
This is far-fetched, but let's just say somebody came out and said, yo, my mom and her band actually wrote that song in the 60s. You guys stole that from them.
She said, I thought that you should know that I don't wanna be friends. Well, baby, I don't ever wanna see you again. Hey!
Even I would believe it. And
Yeah.
I wrote the song.
That last point, I think, is kind of a sign of what's to come. You know, until these laws start to catch up, until they're able to get, and once again, I would not for the life of me understand how something that is so obviously stealing from so many different sources. And I got excited about a lot of the text to AI stuff because the technology in itself was so impressive. It was something I'd never seen before. But there was a part of me that felt icky about it, right? Even when using it, that I was like, yeah, but I'm sourcing something and telling it the influence that I want this image to have is from a famous painter like Ernie Barnes. But Ernie Barnes is not going to get paid for this. Ugh. Now relate that over to music. I now see it from a very clear standpoint in that not only can you make multiple versions of a song without me or my permission, but now somebody can come up and say, you stole that song from me back in the 1960s and 50s when I made a jazz bossa nova version of that. You stole that from me. And if you're not able to prove that what they're presenting as the stolen material, the copyrighted material is AI, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? How are you going to prove this? So once again, I am very concerned with not the technology in itself. I think that it's very impressive and it requires some really intelligent people to put this kind of stuff together. I am more concerned about the laws not catching up or the laws not being in place before this thing went out into the general public. Because now we're starting to see left and right, people are getting AI scammed. The elderly are getting AI scammed through the voice recognition and being able to have their grandson or granddaughter sound like they're in trouble, or they're in danger, and you can use this now to get money from them. Now the scammers don't even have to use their voices, you know what I'm saying, with their thick ass accents. Now they get to use AI with whatever accent they want to use to convince your ass to pay them money. Shit is getting crazy. Shit has already been crazy, but I think now it is encouraging to see this bill underway, because I'm not gonna say never trust a tech company, but these tech companies and their ways of looking at art are the same ideology, the same mindsets that got us in this shit to begin with. And I'm not talking about all. There's some amazing folks that are within the tech industry that want to make sure this is fair for everyone. But then there are people who don't respect the art. I don't think Daniel Ek respects the art. And they make very destructive decisions that show you on a regular basis how very little they don't respect it. So I don't know, man. I want to put my faith in the laws, but them shits have failed before. But we'll see. Fingers crossed, DIYers. These are my thoughts. You let me know what you think. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't be greedy. Peace.